This is a presentation on systems thinking based on the book by Peter Senge, The Fifth Discipline, The Art and Practice of the Learning Organization. The world is becoming more and more complex and interconnected. Senge recommends to connect to a larger whole and see the big picture by using a systems approach to build learning organizations. What's a learning organization? Organizations, a learning organization are organizations where people are continually expanding their capacity to create the result they desire. It's when people are continually learning how to learn together. Senge's five disciplines are personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, team learning, and systems thinking. To become a learning organization, schools, corporates, and agencies should consider following these disciplines. Personal mastery is the discipline of continually clarifying and deepening personal visions. It's a commitment to lifelong learning. It's a continual desire to improve and meet goals. It's the ability to reflect on practices. Mental models are deeply ingrained assumptions. It's a way of thinking that impacts behaviors and actions. It's internal images. Those are internal images that act as stopping agents. A shared vision is the capacity to hold a shared picture of the future. It's a common identity and sense of destiny. It's a collective view of the future. It's the practices that serve as driving forces. Team learning is the capacity of a team to learn together and embrace genuine dialogue. It's the ability of a team to think as a team and learn as a team as well. Systems thinking is, as described by Senge, is a conceptual framework, a body of knowledge and tools that make full patterns clearer. It's a conceptual framework that brings all the other disciplines together and focuses on the needs of the organization as a whole. Building learning organizations. The organization that will truly excel in the future will be the organization that discover how to tap into people's commitment and capacity to learn at all levels in organizations. To build a learning organization, first we have to understand learning disabilities. According to Senge, there are 7 learning disabilities in an organization. I am my position. The enemy is out there. The illusion of taking charge, the fixation on events, the parable of the boiled frog, the delusion of learning from experience, the myth of the management. Senge's identifies these learning disability and describes them as when people in an organization focus only on their positions and have little sense of responsibility for the result. It's when people are waiting for someone else to do something and solve the problem. It's when teams maintain the appearance of a cohesive team and when people ignore the consequences of their actions and when people's thinking is only dominated by short-term events. Our schools, learning organizations. Learning disabilities are tragic in children, especially when they go undetected. They are no less tragic in organizations where they also go largely undetected. We have to ask the following questions for in our schools. Are people only focused on their positions? Who is accountable for students' learning? Are people being proactive and reactive? Are people fixated on short term events? Are people seeing the threats? What are the consequences of our actions? Is the management team cohesive? Learning organizations in education. For school to become learning organization, we need to utilize Senge systems approach and design instruction that meets learners' needs using universal design for learning. We need to engage students using constructivist and constructionist approach to teaching, and we need to incorporate technology in instruction using modern instructional methods such as blended learning and flipped classrooms. The universal design for learning assignment that we did I designed a lesson in geometry that taught transformation through fractals. The lesson was designed to provide students with opportunities to learn regardless of their disability. The lesson was designed to meet students' needs and develop flexible goals and assessment so everybody can learn. How does the UDL assignment and the five disciplines connect? Personal mastery is the gain of expertise that students will have. The mental model is removing the barriers. Everybody should be able to learn regardless of disabilities. Shared vision. We have to design lessons to please every student in the classroom. One size should fit all. Team learning. We have to provide opportunities for cooperative learning in the classroom. System thinking. What's the big idea? What are we trying to teach our students? The constructionist assignment, we explored how can we teach our students to learn by doing and constructing. Students understand the world through experiences, and students can freely explore natural instincts using technology. In this assignment, I utilized the 3D printer to teach geometry through designing shapes and finding areas and perimeter, and designing objects and making connections with real life situations. The personal mastery in this case is the fact that students explore their own interests. The mental model here is the traditional instruction model. The shared vision is promote critical thinking skills, team learning, social learning. Students should be learning in an environment where they can interact. Systems thinking is the big idea. What are the learning goals? What are we trying to teach our students? The last assignment is on flipped classroom. Flipped classrooms are student-centered is a student-centered model of instruction where students have control over time, pace, and the learning path. Students are delivered instruction online using media resources. Instruction takes place outside the classroom, and classroom time is reserved for practice and face-to-face interaction. In this flipped classroom assignment, we designed media resources to deliver instruction out of the classroom for students. How does the flipped classroom assignment and the five discipline connect? Personal mastery here is the student's ability to have control over his learning. Student can control the time, the pace, and the learning path. What are the mental models here? Technology can be a barrier. Technology should be provided in the classroom to assist students learning. Shared vision. We need engagement. Students need to be engaged in the classroom. Team learning. Problem solving should happen in groups. Students should be able to work together to solve problems. Systems thinking, the big idea. What's the learning goal? What are we trying to teach our students? The systems thinking approach in education should be able to answer the following questions. How can students use what they learn in the classroom to understand the world? What is the vision? What are the barriers? Are students committed to learning? Are we teaching 21st century skills? What will students do with what they learn? Senge's 5 learning disciplines in education are very much exactly about how we can answer those questions. As a conclusion, we can know that a school has become or is a learning organization only when students become lifelong learners. Students' learning styles and their needs are met is when all students succeed. Students can work together to solve problems, and students are given all the opportunities to learn. This ends this presentation.